In the series of human resource management, we are currently learning about compensation management. And in the previous lecture, we started to learn about rewards and reward management. So, as employees, we all love to be rewarded, to be recognized for the work we are doing. And the moment we feel that the organization is considering our performances, acknowledging our performance, as an employee you feel motivated and your morale is boosted. But on the other hand, if you feel that your good work or better performance is overlooked, is not being acknowledged, then it definitely reduces your drive to work better. That is the essence of rewards or reward management, and that is important for an organization and specifically the human resource management departments to understand that why rewards are important. So, in the previous lecture we learnt about rewards, reward management, what are the types of reward, namely total rewards, relational rewards, strategic rewards. Then we also learnt as to what is reward strategy. So, giving you a quick recap of reward strategy, it is something which is a structured approach adopted by organizations, which is done to attract, retain and motivate employees effectively through a design and implementation of various reward systems. And speaking about reward systems, it encompasses monetary as well as non-monetary rewards, the benefits, the recognition or even career development opportunities which are tailored to meet the organization's objectives as well as to fulfill the employee's needs. As far as the importance of a reward strategy is concerned, it will help an organization retain the best talent, it will enhance the employee's motivation, it will foster a commitment towards achieving organizational goals and also improve employee engagement. It will improve the performances, and a compelling reward strategy even helps organizations attract and compete for skilled professionals in the market. So, moving further, next step is how to develop a reward strategy or what are the best practices in developing a reward strategy. So, in the previous couple of lectures also we discussed about what is a good reward system. So, same holds true for a reward strategy also, because whenever you are strategizing something for your employees, you must understand a few points and always keep in mind while you are strategizing your reward systems. And the first point in this best practices is the flexibility. So, you must design your reward systems that are flexible enough to accommodate diverse employee needs and preferences. So, in the previous lecture also I discussed that today we have employees who have diverse needs. There can be single mothers, single fathers, there can be dual career couples, there can be couples who have elderly parents to be taken care of, there can be couples who have just become parents, they have very young kids to look after. So, all these employees would be having different needs in terms of what they want from the organization in terms of rewards. So, while designing, while implementing your reward strategy, try to make it as flexible as possible so that you can accommodate, you can adjust all the needs of your employees. Second important practice we can say in developing a reward strategy is fairness and transparency. Nobody wants to be cheated. Nobody wants to be in an environment that is ambiguous, where you do not know who would be getting the reward, and why even after performing well, why are you not being promoted, or why are you not getting a reward, and why somebody else who has performed maybe lesser than you is being rewarded. So there has to be fairness as well as transparency in the reward allocation process, so that you can maintain employee trust and their morale is enhanced. Because when you feel cheated, you automatically lose trust in the employer, the organization, your bosses, which will ultimately reduce your morale. You will not feel like working because you know that your good work will not be rewarded. So the moment an employee starts feeling cheated, his morale will decline. So while developing a reward strategy, try and make it as fair and as transparent as possible. Moving further, it must be regularly reviewed and adjusted also. So you need to periodically review and adjust your reward strategy in response to the changing organizational dynamics as well as the market conditions. So we learned that today the markets are very volatile. The business environment is also very volatile. We do not know what is in store for the next year or maybe next month. And we have witnessed this during the COVID pandemic phase, that all of a sudden there was lockdown, all of a sudden the market crashed, all of a sudden we were forced to be in our homes locked. So this is how the dynamics of the environment are also changing, and it is important for HR leaders to understand and keep in mind that these dynamics are not something which are very we can say fixed or rigid. They are flexible. So the environment is flexible, and in tune to this you must review your strategy and adjust accordingly. Then another important best practice that can be taken care of while designing your reward strategy is employee involvement. So involve your employees in the development and review of the reward strategy, so that you are able to gain an insight and enhance the buy-ins. And lastly, you must align your reward strategy with business strategy or the overall organization's strategy. So you must align the reward strategy closely with the organization's business strategy and objectives, so as to maximize its impact on the performance and the results. This is very important, because if the business strategy and your reward strategy are not aligned, are not in the same direction, you cannot reap the benefits of a good reward strategy. So moving further, the next topic in rewards management is the reward policy. So what do we mean by a reward policy? Well, a reward policy is a methodical and a written process that describes a company's approach and rules for paying and recognizing its workers. So this policy provides a framework for deciding on the pay, the perks and the other awards for the employees. So we can say that this is something which is in black and white, which is a written document. So a reward policy's main goal is to guarantee that employees receive fair, consistent compensation for their contributions to the company. Now, what is the importance of these reward policies? Firstly, reward policies align employee efforts with organizational objectives ensuring that everyone is working towards a common goal. So, you must understand that as an employee, whatever efforts you are putting in, are those efforts aligned towards the organizational objectives? Because at times what happens is that the employee has different objectives and the organization might be having some different objectives. So, if as an employee you are not contributing towards the organizational objectives or achieving organizational objectives, no matter how hard or how good you are performing, that performance is of no value viewing it from the organization's perspectives, because your work, your effort, your performance is not helping the organization achieve its objectives. No matter you might be successful, you might have achieved your objective, but is your objective aligned with the objective of the organization or not? So, you must understand that while designing or implementing your reward policy, this alignment has to be ensured so that everyone works towards the common goal. Then next is consistency. So, reward policies, they provide a consistency in reward distribution. So, it is not done in a random manner that one department is getting, the other one is not getting a reward. So, when you have a reward policy in place, there is a consistency when it comes to the disbursement or distribution of rewards, and this will further promote fairness and reduces the conflicts among employees. So, nobody would feel cheated, everyone knows that this is the policy, this has to be followed, and this is the way I would be rewarded, and this is the amount that I would be getting as per my performance. So, a good reward policy will ensure consistency. Then when the reward policies are clear, there is no ambiguity in understanding what the reward policy entails. So, when there is clarity, it motivates the employees to perform better and contribute to the organizational success. So, if I am not clear as to what my organization has to offer in terms of rewards, or when will I become eligible to get a reward, if that clarity is not there, I will not feel motivated, because I am not sure what will get me a reward. So, when there is clarity, it motivates employees to contribute towards the success, and when employees are motivated, it will help in the retention. So, well defined policies, they help retain the top talent by offering competitive and attractive rewards. And it is of pertinent importance today when we are talking of hyper competitive era. It is extremely important for organizations to retain their top talent. So, that can be done by offering competitive as well as attractive rewards. So, let us quickly understand the types of reward policies. So, what are the various types of reward policies? The first one is the performance based policies. So, rewards are tied to individual or team performance achievements. So, as an individual, my performance will be tied to the reward. So, if I perform well, I will get a reward. Similarly, if I am a part of a team and the team effort is seen or team performance is seen, and if the team performs well, the entire team would get a reward. So, performance bonuses are an example of performance based policies. Sales commissions that the sales personnel get, and even profit sharing schemes, all these are examples of performance based policies. The second type of reward policy is the position based policies. So, in this type of a policy, the rewards are based on the level or position within the organization's hierarchy. So, we all know that in an organization there are various levels of hierarchy, the top management, the middle management and the entry level or lower level of management. So, the position based policies, they are dependent on the individual's position within the hierarchy. So, examples are the salary scales. So, you all understand that the salary scales of top management would be different from those of middle management or the entry level management. Then job grades are there. So, that is also a position based policy, and promotions. Promotions are also based on what level you are currently in. So, if you are an entry level, you cannot jump directly to the top management. There is a proper hierarchy which you have to follow. So, that is again a type of reward policy. Then the third one is the skill based policies. So, what are skill based policies? So, here the rewards are linked to the acquisition and utilization of specific skills or competencies. So, not every individual within a team or within a particular department would be having the same skill set. The skill sets, the competencies are different even within the same department, even within the same team. So, I might be more skillful, I might be improvising my skills, improving on my skills. So, according to these skills that I have acquired, I might be rewarded. So, that would be a skill based reward. And the example here is the skill based pay, certifications, training opportunities. So, if I am keen to learn, if I am keen to enhance my skill, so the organization would be giving me an opportunity to train myself, to go and attend some workshops, they can maybe sponsor some certification courses which I want to go through. So, that is what we mean by a skill based policy. Now, coming to the characteristics of a good reward policy. So, what are the characteristics that make a reward policy an effective one? So, first and foremost is the clear objectives. So, clearly defined objectives that align with organizational goals. So, not only clearly defined, but at the same time they have to be aligned with the organization's goals. Then of course, fairness and equity has to be there. So, there has to be an equitable distribution of rewards based on the performance, the contribution of employees and their effort. Then of course, transparency, very important, transparent processes and criteria for reward allocation, because when the systems or policies are transparent, the employees have trust in the management, and that enhanced trust will enhance their motivation. Then flexibility is also important when you are designing your policies. So, flexibility to adapt to the changing business needs and employee preferences. And next is the alignment with organizational culture. Are you consistent with the culture of the organization? Is your reward policy consistent with the organizational culture or not? Every organization, no matter how small, how big it is, has its own culture, has its own values and ethics. So, your reward policies must be aligned with this culture or the value system that you are following. Communication again is very important, because there is no fun in making a policy and putting it inside a file if you are not communicating it to your people for whom those policies are being made. So, effective communication of these reward policies should be taken care of by the HR departments so that you can ensure proper understanding and acceptance. So, if it is not communicated to an employee and the employee is not able to understand the reward policy, he will not be able to perform better, he will not be motivated to perform better to get that reward, because he is unable to understand, unable to comprehend at what does this policy mean. And at the same time, apart from understanding, it should be acceptable also. If you are just making a policy for the sake of making it, it's of no use. It must be acceptable by the people for whom those policies have been designed. So, that is again very important. So, friends, in this lecture we have started to learn about reward policies. So, what is a reward policy? It is a methodical and a written process that describes a company's approach and rules for paying and recognizing its workers. So, broadly speaking about a reward policy, it is a framework that decides on what the employees would be getting in terms of pay, in terms of perks, the rewards and awards from the organization. And as far as the importance is concerned, it should be aligned, it ensures consistency in the distribution of rewards, it motivates employees, and once employees are motivated, they would be retained. Talking of the types of reward policies, there are three types of reward policies: performance based, where you reward the performance; position based, where you take care of the level of or the position within the organizational hierarchy, and then there is the skill based policy, where you reward or you link the reward to the acquisition of certain specific skills or competencies. Then we talked about the characteristics of a good reward policy, that how we can make a reward policy that is effective, that can reap the benefits that an organization wants. So, for that you need to have very clear objectives, you have to make it fair and equitable, there has to be transparency so that the processes and criteria for reward allocation are transparent enough and which will further enhance the employees' trust in the management. Then they must be flexible enough so that they can adapt to the changing needs of the organization, of the employees. Then they must be aligned with the organization's cultures, organization's values, and most importantly, they have to be effectively communicated to the people for whom we have designed these policies, so that they are able to understand and they are able to accept these policies. So, we will learn about some more topics on reward in the next lecture. Thank you.